Have you ever felt like you were giving your all, but somehow still falling apart inside? This is the story of Meery Ley, a young woman whose life looked perfect on social media, but couldn't have been more different behind closed doors. She smiled in photos, posted routines, shared quotes about growth, but underneath, she was tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of running. Tired of feeling like something was missing in spite of everything she had. At 26, Meery was working a stable job in marketing. She had a small city apartment, a couple of close friends, and all the right things society tells us we should be happy about. But still, every morning she woke up feeling empty. Her chest felt heavy. Her thoughts were wired with comparison and self-doubt. She'd scroll through Instagram, watching strangers living their best lives, traveling, glowing, thriving, while something inside her quietly whispered, "You're being left behind." Stress became her normal. So did anxiety. No matter how hard she worked, it always felt like she wasn't doing enough. Success felt like a moving target she could never quite reach. She wasn't falling apart in dramatic ways. No, it was slow, silent, and invisible. The kind of struggle that hides behind routine smiles and overachiever tendencies. Then came the night everything changed. It was raining. One of those long, cold, unforgiving rains. She left work late after a rough meeting where her ideas were dismissed with a sigh. She missed her bus. Her umbrella broke. She came home drenched and exhausted. As if that wasn't enough, she poured herself a cup of hot coffee, tried to open her laptop, and the cup slipped. The coffee spilled all over the keyboard. Sparks, flickers, dead screen. And for the first time in a long time, Meery Ley collapsed. Not physically, but emotionally. She dropped to the floor, knees pulled to her chest, tears rolling down quietly. Not just for the laptop, not just for the coffee, but for everything that had slowly piled up over months, maybe years. She stared into the quiet room and whispered, "I can't live like this anymore." That moment was her breaking point, but also, unknowingly, her turning point. She scrolled her phone, numb, lost him. That's when she saw it. A quote, simple, quiet, almost ordinary. "What if you woke up tomorrow with only the things you were grateful for today?" She paused, read it again, and something inside her shifted. Because in all her running, chasing, fixing, perfecting, she had forgotten to thank. She had forgotten to see what was already working, what was already good. That night, she took an old notebook from her shelf, flipped to a blank page, and wrote, "I'm thankful for the roof over my head, grateful for this cup of tea, thankful for still being here, even when it's hard." Just 3 lines. That's it. But the next day, she did it again. Then again, and again. Every morning before the chaos of the world came knocking, she sat with her thoughts and wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. Some days they were profound. Other days, they were small, almost silly. Grateful for the sun, grateful for my socks, grateful for that meme that made me laugh. But day by day, something began to change. Not her life fully, but her mind. She started noticing things, really noticing. Her favorite song playing on the radio, the warm steam of her tea, the way her bedsheets smelled after laundry day. Her brain, once trained to find problems, now started looking for blessings. And when problems came, as they still did, they didn't crush her the same way. That quiet practice every morning gave her strength, perspective, space. 2 weeks in, she caught herself laughing a deep, genuine laugh she hadn't heard from herself in months. At work, she stayed calmer under pressure. She smiled at strangers. She forgave little annoyances. Her energy didn't shift overnight, but it shifted deeply. She wasn't faking joy anymore. She was finding it in everything. And that right there was the magic. One afternoon, she sat at her favorite cafe, gratitude journal, in front of her writing, sipping, thinking. A man nearby noticed. He was a writer, planning a blog series about emotional wellness. They started talking. When she mentioned her daily gratitude habit, he lit up. "That's powerful," he said. "People need to hear that." He asked her to write her story. And despite her doubts, she did. A few days later, she posted her first piece online. 30 days that changed everything. My journey with daily gratitude. Within hours, it went viral, not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. People reached out from everywhere telling her they felt the same, that they were starting their own journals, that her story gave them hope. She kept writing, started recording short videos. Eventually, that small blog turned into a podcast. She built a community, spoke at events, released her own journal design. With every new milestone, she still came back to that old notebook. Page 1, still there, grateful for, tea, shelter, hope, because at the end of the day, gratitude didn't change her external world immediately, but it changed her from the inside out. It quieted her noise, healed the invisible wounds, gifted her presence, the ability to see now fully. And that changed everything. So, what about you? Are you running? Drowning in stress? Feeling stuck? Lost? Hollow? Even though everything should be fine? Start simple. One sentence, one page. I'm grateful for. Say it today, write it tomorrow, live it forever. Because gratitude isn't just a habit, it's a doorway to peace, to healing, to strength, and to a life you actually feel alive in, just like it did for Meery Ley.